What's going on, guys? Arrow here, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about what we could get from Nintendo in terms of their holiday title this year in 2020. Now just a couple days ago, we got a Pokemon Direct, and as soon as that Direct was announced, everybody was thinking, what could they possibly talk about in terms of Pokemon? What could they have in terms of Pokemon news? And in that Direct, we got the special reveal that Pokemon Sword and Shield is in fact going to be getting a DLC expansion pass, which is going to be getting two separate releases throughout the year. We're going to be getting the Isle of Armor, which is going to be coming out in the summer, and then we're going to be getting the Crown Tundra, which is going to be coming out in the fall. Now the best thing about the Pokemon Direct is that it essentially confirms that we are not going to be getting a mainline Pokemon game in 2020. If they did have a brand new mainline game coming out this year, the promotion would crisscross over with the DLC for Sword and Shield, so it just wouldn't make any sense. Now the best part isn't even about that, it's the fact that we finally have the most important slot of any single lineup for Nintendo throughout the whole year, the November holiday slot, finally open after 4 years to something that isn't going to be Pokemon. Now the November holiday slot is like one of the most important times for any game company to release one of their most popular games, as this is the time of the year where every kid is going to be asking their parents for what they want for Christmas or Hanukkah or the holidays, and everybody's going shopping for their kids as well, so that's when they want to release like their really big games that they know a lot of people are going to want, and it's going to sell systems. And like I mentioned just a couple minutes ago, the November holiday slot for the last 4 years has only been Pokemon. In 2016, it was Pokemon. In 2017, it was Pokemon. In 2018, it was Pokemon. In 2019, it was also Pokemon. So now that we're in 2020 and we know that a new mainline game is not going to be coming out, it finally means that Nintendo can put in another game that's not going to be Pokemon, that's going to be selling systems, and that makes me super excited. And so in this video, I want to predict with you guys what Nintendo's big holiday title could be this year, what's going to be like their big system selling game, and then we could also take a look at some of your thoughts from Twitter as well. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that I think that we should talk about are the games that we know for a fact are on the way, but we don't know exactly when they're going to be coming out. So the first game that falls into this category is Bayonetta 3. Now ever since the reveal for Bayonetta 3 back at the Game Awards in 2017, we have not heard any new information about the game. We only got like a small little teaser trailer back then, and ever since then we have not had any new information. But if you guys want my honest opinion, I think that there is a chance that Bayonetta 3 could in fact release this year in 2020. We know that Platinum Games was working on Astral Chain for a while because they had to get that out in 2019, and so since they're done with Astral Chain, I think that they could have been working on Bayonetta 3, and I think even this year is actually going to be the 10th anniversary of Bayonetta, so like the original Bayonetta, it would be the perfect time for them to release Bayonetta 3. So there is a chance that Bayonetta 3 could release this year in 2020, but I know for a fact that there is no way that Bayonetta 3 is going to be the November holiday slot title for the Nintendo Switch. This is supposed to be a game that everybody asks for the holidays, and a lot of kids are wanting that game, and I can assure you that there's not going to be a lot of kids that are going to be asking their parents for Bayonetta 3, so unfortunately I don't think it's going to be the holiday slot, but it could very well come out sometime in like the fall or like October or around there. Now the next thing that I have here is Metroid Prime 4, and I just want to mention real fast, I don't think that there's any chance that Metroid Prime 4 can come out this year in 2020. It's been around exactly a year because I think last year, around January, was when we got the announcement that Metroid Prime 4 has essentially restarted development, and there is no way that they can get a game like that ready in an entire year. They need way more time to work on it, so I figured I would just mention that in case somebody tries to talk about that in the comments. I don't think that Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out in 2020. I don't think we're going to hear about that game for the next 2 years or so, but I just figured I'd mention that real fast. Now the next game that we have here is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and so this is one of the few games that we know is going to be releasing in 2020, but it hurts me to say that there is no way that this game is going to be the November holiday slot for the Nintendo Switch. Believe me, I would love to live in a world where Xenoblade Chronicles is as big as Mario and Zelda and Pokemon, but unfortunately it just isn't. The franchise is just pretty small, it has a pretty niche fan base, and even the game that's coming out is just a remake of the first game, so they can't really make it like a big holiday type of release. I mean, if it was Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it would still be that same situation, but I think at least then they could try to market it as like a brand new adventure or something like that. But the fact that this is just a remake of the first one, it's very unlikely that it's going to be the holiday slot game for this year. And so that leaves us with one last big game that we know about, and that is the Breath of the Wild sequel that was announced at E3 last year. And so if Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out this year in 2020, which I think that there is a chance that it could release this year, I think that this would be one of the most perfect titles to put right there in that November holiday slot. This is a big franchise. Zelda sells a lot of systems, and this is definitely one because a lot of people played Breath of the Wild for the first time and experienced the Zelda game and got to love it a lot. And I think that because of how so many people enjoyed Breath of the Wild, they are very excited to play Breath of the Wild 2. I know I am, and so I think that if they put this game right around the holiday time, a lot of people are going to buy it. I certainly will. A lot of kids are going to want it for Christmas. A lot of people are going to be asking for a Nintendo Switch. So I think that it would be one of the most perfect titles to release for that holiday time. And so yeah, Breath of the Wild 2 would be an amazing, perfect holiday title, but the thing is, we don't know exactly when it's coming out. I think that it is likely for it to come out in 2020, but of course Zelda is notorious for being delayed a lot, so it's very possible that it could get delayed to 2021 or even later, and we might not have it this year. And so if Breath of the Wild 2 is not going to be the holiday game for 2020, then that leaves us with only one more choice, which is the fact that they have an unannounced game that they're going to announce later this year, maybe at E3 or like a Nintendo Direct, and that's going to be the big system selling hype game that they're going to have in 2020. So in terms of options for what they could have, the first one that comes to my mind is Super Mario Odyssey 2. A lot of people have been wanting a Super Mario Odyssey sequel. I would love it personally. I had a lot of fun with Super Mario Odyssey, so I'd be totally fine with it. And Super Mario Odyssey also didn't get any DLC, so it would be awesome if we got like an actual sequel with new kingdoms, new items, and new things to do. So that would be awesome if that came out. Pikmin 4 is also a possibility, but I don't think that it would be like a really big system selling holiday game. I mean, I don't think that Pikmin really sells all that well to have it be like a really big holiday title, but it could be possible. Maybe we could get a Pikmin 4 that could come out later this year. Splatoon 3 is also one that I've seen people talking about because of how we got the last Splatfest of Splatoon 2 last year. I just don't think that Splatoon 3 is going to be coming out anytime soon. I think that Splatoon 3 personally might be coming out like towards the end of the Switch's life cycle, or if it's not even coming out on the Switch, it's probably going to be on the next new Nintendo system after the Switch. I just don't think that they would release Splatoon 3 right away, so I don't think we're going to be seeing that. Now another one that I know a lot of people talk about is a 2D Mario game like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, and even that I still think is kind of unlikely because just last year we actually got New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is still a stupid name, but we got that in January, and then even in June we got Super Mario Maker 2, which is essentially just infinite 2D Mario levels, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense to have those 2D Mario games released last year and then have a brand new one and try to market that as like a big holiday game for this year. I just don't think that it would make a lot of sense. And then finally, the last option is Mario Kart 9, or like a brand new Mario Kart game on the Switch, which I would really love if that happened, but even that I still think is pretty unlikely. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is actually the most selling game on the entire Nintendo Switch. People are loving that game, they're still buying it, and even with Mario Kart Tour releasing on the phones, people have been invested in Mario Kart in that, so I just don't think that it makes any sense for them to release a brand new Mario Kart for the time right now. I mean, it could very well come in the future, but I just don't think it would make a lot of sense to release it right now. Now I tweeted about this on my Twitter as well, so let's take a look at my Twitter and see if we got any responses. I asked you guys what you think that the big holiday game for this year could be. And so here's the tweet. I said, with the news of the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion, after 4 years, Nintendo's November holiday slot is open to something non-Pokemon. What are your predictions for the big system-selling holiday game we could get this year? Reply to this tweet and you could be featured in my next video. So Monado Michael here is saying Odyssey 2 or Breath of the Wild 2. I would be super excited if we got either of those. I had a ton of fun with Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, so I would be super happy if any of those really came out this year. Dayton is saying there are rumors of a new 2D Metroid and a Paper Mario that goes back to its roots. They both seem very likely. I think that they'll try to get Breath of the Wild 2 out this year, but it might unfortunately be next year. So yeah, I think Breath of the Wild 2 is definitely what they're going to try to get out for the holiday, but if they can't, a Paper Mario would definitely work. I mean, Mario is a big franchise, so that would definitely work, and especially if it's going to go back to its roots and appeal to like the old school Paper Mario games, that would be really awesome. A 2D Metroid though I think is kind of unlikely because a 2D Metroid, I mean, Metroid games unfortunately just don't sell all that well, so it would be kind of hard for them to promote that as like a big holiday game that everybody needs to play and needs to like go out and buy a Switch for. So unfortunately that one I don't really see that much happening, but like the other ones, Paper Mario and Breath of the Wild 2, could very well happen. Alston here is saying a new Paper Mario game. Of course, I mean a Paper Mario game. I know it's been rumored. A lot of people want it. It can very well happen. D-Dog is saying maybe like a Breath of the Wild 2 if it's ready for this year. My wish is Mario Kart 9. So yeah, I did talk about Mario Kart 9. A new Mario Kart would be so sick to have for the holidays. So many kids would want that, like with all the new tracks and everything. It would just be so sick, but I unfortunately just don't think it's going to happen. If we are getting a new Mario Kart game, it probably won't be for a couple years or so. Let's scroll down here. Let's see here. This person is putting Breath of the Wild 2, no joke. I mean, I really think that it's likely that Breath of the Wild 2 will probably come out. Everyone here seems to be saying Breath of the Wild 2, so yeah, it seems like that's what we're probably going to be seeing. Super Mario 3D World Deluxe. That, unfortunately, I just don't think would happen because it would be, like you said, it would be a deluxe port, so they can't really market a port as like a big new type of game, so I don't see that one happening all that much. But yeah, Breath of the Wild 2, I mean, you guys are all putting Breath of the Wild 2 GIFs in here, so I definitely think that Breath of the Wild 2 is probably going to be the most likely one if it is coming out this year. But a lot of other options happen too. I mean, this person Peaches is saying Pikmin. I did talk about Pikmin. I think, you know, Pikmin doesn't sell all that well, but I mean, Pikmin 3 did sell pretty well for the Wii U in terms of the low install base that the Wii U had, so maybe it's possible a Pikmin 4 could come in. I think because of how on the Switch, you know, so many people have a Switch, it could be possible for them to get a new Pikmin game, and a lot of people would be definitely getting excited for that, so that would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's going to do it for all the Twitter responses. I'm sorry I couldn't read all of them. It looks like a lot of you guys said Breath of the Wild 2 anyway, so I definitely agree with you. I'm very excited for it. I mean, you guys can see my profile picture is literally Zelda from Breath of the Wild 2, so I'm very excited for it. I really hope that it does come out this year. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all your responses. And remember, if you ever want to be featured in videos like this, then just go and follow me on Twitter at @ActualArrow. And so there you go, guys. Those are my predictions for what we could get from Nintendo as their big holiday game this year. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button and also comment down below and let me know what you guys think of all this. What would you guys like to see as the big holiday game from Nintendo this year? What are your predictions? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Nintendo content in the future, so please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at @ActualArrow so you can be featured in videos. And also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros. And Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.